So we got brand new information in regards to the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree that's going to be dropping on the 21st. We're going to be talking about the size of the DLC, what you should be looking forward to, some quality changes, new inventory management tabs that you're going to be able to see once you update the game on day one on the 21st, and some early access, but I'll give you more details towards the end of the video about that. So let's dive into this video. The first thing we're going to be taking a look at is, yes, it has been confirmed that by defeating Mo and Radon, you're going to be able to enter through the cocoon through the new DLC. And as you probably already know, and you've been watching all other videos, that this DLC that a lot of the players were using was a level 150 quality type of build. They included a warrior, a sorcerer, and also a knight. Now, all of those were a level 150, but what they all had in common is that that was what you could say was the base type of level that you need to be able to get into the DLC and not have so much trouble. Now, if you're a little bit under level to that, maybe 120, you may be struggling. The reason why. So based on different type of content creators that went out to the LA and also in Europe and had a chance to play for 3 hours, they all had different experiences. Of course, some of them play Elden Ring daily, which means they're not going to have such a big difficulty. That maybe they died like about 5 or less times, where there are some news reporters, such as, we won't mention the names of the persons, but they continuously were dying so much. So for them, they weren't even able to defeat the first boss. And the other content creators that play Elden Ring daily, and I'm talking about daily for about 8 hours a day, then they were able to defeat the two bosses, had enough time to be able to explore and ask questions. So it just depends on the type of player you are. It's not a reflection of how the DLC is easy or hard, but we'll talk about the easy mode that the DLC has. Now with this, we're going to be facing 10 different new major bosses. Okay, so from those bosses, we're going to be able to get the remembrance. It doesn't mean that's where all the bosses stop. Those are the main bosses, such as like Melina, Mog, Radon. Those are the main bosses, but we're probably going to be able to see about a good amount of side bosses. If you have played Elden Ring, there's over 165 bosses, but there's not that many. It's about, I believe, 15 main bosses in Elden Ring. So that means if we are able to compare to those, then we probably are going to be able to see close to maybe 80 different bosses, depending on the difficulty of them, right? So that is something to have in mind. We're also going to have been confirmed that there are going to be 3 legacy dungeons, and also between those areas, there's going to be a nice smooth transition between a legacy dungeon to the game, or meaning the DLC itself. Now, we're going to have 8 different weapon categories. And as you guys know, I made a full video if you want to know the full details of them. All those weapons are going to be the greatsword, hand-to-hand, great katana, beast claws, perfume bottles, throwing weapons, revenge hand swords, and also trusting shields. So if you want more details, check out the link. It's in the description, and it's going to take you there. Now, in regards to the size of this map, we already know, and it has been confirmed, that it's going to be 16 gigabytes in file size. Now, how big is in gameplay size? There is actually an article by PC Gamer. He actually went to Tokyo and to the new offices of From Software, and he was very actually lucky and very fortunate at the same time, because he was waiting for the developer Miyazaki to have about a window of time so he can interview him. But during that, Miyazaki kept getting busy, so he was able to stay there for about a full day and was able to play more than 3 hours. So he does say that Miyazaki is underselling how big the DLC is going to be. I know there's some rumors, they are saying that the DLC is about 60 to 70% in size of the regular game, which is humongous if you ask me. That is a big size. Now, in regards, what we're going to be able to see is brand new things that make the game a lot easier. And those are going to be two things. One is going to be the Scar Tree Fragment and also the Spirit Ash Blessings. Those two are going to be able to make one, your player, you, is going to be the Scarlet Tree Fragments, which are going to turn into the Scarlet Tree Blessings, which is going to give you offensive and defense. So that is how you're going to be able to make this a lot easier. And where can you find them? Well, one, you can find them at the grace points. Two of them, you are able to find them by defeating enemies. They'll drop them and you're able to get those. And that is how you're going to increase about 5 to maybe 8% on your strength and your defense. And that is how you're going to be able to make the DLC a lot easier. Also, when you find the Spirit Ash of Blessings, you're able to use that to make your summon even stronger. So that is going to be another way of how you're able to make the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC a lot easier. So that is how you're able to do that. There's also a bunch of new quality life updates that are being added to the game on day one of the 21st. One is going to be, you're going to see a separate tab that is going to have different items. One of them is going to have an inventory item that you're going to be able to see everything that you gather, everything that you find. It's also going to have a nice little explanation that is going to tell you what you are able to use the item for. Unlike the base game, you don't have that. So who knows, maybe that will be added to the base game, which will be kind of cool because there's so many things in Elden Ring that you always got to look for that information to find out what exactly it does. So that is something new. Also, another thing that is they're adding is going to be another tab that is going to show the base game and the DLC. So you're going to have two separate tabs that are going to show that. But now I have a feeling that that tab will be enabled once you are in the DLC, once you enter the DLC. So remember, you got to defeat Mog and Radon. Without defeating them, you're not going to be able to enter the DLC. Couple more things. One of them is that Torrent, our faithful horse, is going to have wings. So it's going to allow him to even jump further to reach certain locations, which is something cool. So I don't know if that's something we're going to need to unlock, or is that something that's going to be automatically, but I'm guessing per software, you're going to have to do something to be able to get that unlocked, which is going to be something cool to be able to do. Another thing that we're going to see that is brand new is also that we have to pay really good attention is that the NPCs are in the path of Michaela. So we have to make sure that when you go to Site of Grace, pay good attention when you're speaking to the NPCs because they're going to give you a lot of information as to where exactly Michaela is in how to progress. And as you're able to see in this video, you're able to see those cross type of things where Michaela is leaving traces. So that is also another way that is going to show us how to get around into the map, different dungeons and different locations. Of course, over 8 different type of weapons, over 800 different weapons that we are going to be able to find. As a lot of these weapons are going to be a lot of fun. And what I like about this is that they're making some quality type of weapons good in a way that you're going to be able to use them, infuse them with an actual war or make them more powerful. Overall, this DLC is going to be very massive. And the last thing is, I wanted to leave it till the last, is if you want to get an early view of the Elden Ring, there is a partnership between Red Bull and Elden Ring. I believe it's between Bandai Namco, and it's not a crossover, but they're going to be able to play Elden Ring early. And when I say early, that is June the 15th, and I'm not talking about 3 hours. It seems like they're going to have access to the full entire game. I don't know who paid who, but in a way, it's kind of sad that we're not going to be able to see for ourselves, go blinded in a way. But new era in this world, everything that it's on the web, you're bound to find it. So it's very hard now to even hide or even just not to peek and see what's going on because it's everywhere. You open your phone, you get a text or whatever. So overall, just giving you a warning, June 15, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, just be careful from June 15 and on. That's it. There you go. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to turn on notifications all, and we'll see you on the next video.